Welcome back to the Virtues Newsletter. It is week number 7, and I am recording from Ontario, Canada, just a little bit east of Toronto. And I am welcoming people from 15 countries. I'm looking at statistics from Anchor FM, where you can access this podcast for free and no strings attached. So that's anchor.fm/Barb's World. Otherwise, if you'd like the extras and the bonuses, you can jump over to virtuesoftheweek.substack.com and you will receive the publication every week in your email, which is really convenient. So once again, thank you for being here. I am your host, Barbara McKenzie, and let me remind you a little bit of the purpose of this podcast. I believe soul development is a practice of exercising and integrating the virtues. It's the divine nature of our Creator mixed in with the humanness of us and our body consciousness. So the Virtues Newsletter is a practice of staying aligned and attuned to these virtues. Throughout the year of 2023, I will be picking a virtue every week, and we will be focusing on journal questions and looking for how that virtue is in practice, in process in our life. Over the course of 52 weeks, my hope is that we become more attuned to the angels of virtues and therefore aligning closer to that which the Creator intended for us. Now, without getting into any of the details, this week, forbearance has shown me that I have the ability to put my own ego and pride aside in order to be more kind to myself and everyone. And I am discovering an intolerance that I had never had before. And I wonder about the mortar of forbearance and the wearing away of the cartilage between. I realize that I can be kinder and more caring by falling back on forbearance and allowing things to slide. Like burrs. It keeps catching me, or I keep getting caught. So looking at what's important in my present moment. That brings to mind this week, I heard a song that I had never heard before by the famous Gord Downie of the Tragically Hip. The song is called The Moment is a Wild Place. And for Substack subscribers, just look down below and you will see the lyrics typed out, as well as a link to the song. So you can just click that link and listen to it. And for Anchor and other podcast platforms, you can look for it on Bandcamp if you look up Gord Downie.
have done such bad work. I'm greedy for life. Take it, steal it. If you don't feel it, I won't feel it. Let's kill war with a happy hopes and comforting myths. Don't just do something. Stand there, yeah, just stand there. They say you gotta live in the moment. They keep saying just live in the moment. Oh, you gotta live in the moment. What they don't say is the moment is a wild place. It's a wild place. If I'm free, why do I feel like this? Is this all my dreaming accomplish it? Thus began the longest night of our lives. Understand? No, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant. They say just live in the moment. They keep saying I gotta live in the moment. Oh, just live in the moment. But what they don't say is the moment is a wild place. It's a wild place. Heal how faith just be yourself or be Johnny, yeah, or be Johnny Cash. They say just live in the moment. They keep saying you gotta live in the moment. Oh, how can you live in the moment?
Music is instrumental in my spirit practice. It's part of how I honor the spirit and how I have always connected with my soul. It's almost like music can span the chasm between body and soul, and it calls and echoes across the canyon, through the mountains. It's a beautiful thing. I don't have to explain. I wish I understood it. And while I think of it, Peter Gabriel's daughter is doing research with her husband about the influence music has on our brain and our neuroanatomy, neurochemistry. I don't know what else to call it. Anyway, I'm going to be looking more into that myself. So I don't know a lot about it, but it's fascinating and exactly where my spirit wants to be, which is embedded in this idea that music plays a role. And while I say that, a friend of mine, Janine Cummings, who goes on YouTube by the handle Divine Nurturer, check her out. I'm going to put another link and play a little bit of her song here for you. She explains it, so I won't repeat. This is called Holy Rain.
Holy rain, holy rain, holy, holy, holy rain. Over and over, I feel my light, but I also feel my pain. I'm not afraid of that holy rain, holy rain, holy, holy rain.
I think what I love so much about music is that it helps to buoy me. It keeps me supported, helps carry me through troubling times. A bridge over troubled waters, as they say. So when I'm thinking about forbearance, music plays a huge role in helping me process my experience. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, it's such a beautiful thing. But we are here to do a virtues pick, to have a focus on this coming week. And I am shuffling my deck of 100 virtues reflection cards. And let's see what Angel of Virtue is showing up for us in week number 7. It is fortitude. Fortitude is strength of character. It is the will to endure no matter what happens with courage, confidence, and patience. Fortitude is deeply rooted in the bedrock of our will. We cultivate it by strengthening our resolve to face whatever comes. It springs from devotion to a purpose we believe to be real and important. It grows as we face and overcome insurmountable obstacles. It keeps us going. Our fortitude can astonish us. The back of the card has a quote by Anonymous that says, "Hold your precious heart steadfast in fortitude until the siege has passed, and you will be duly nourished." The practice of fortitude. I have the will to survive. I have the patience to endure. I am guided by a clear purpose. I know what I care about. Whatever life brings makes me stronger I have amazing endurance. I am thankful for the gift of fortitude. It is the strength of my soul. I do find it so interesting that fortitude has shown up because I've been thinking about it this week in terms of the difference between forbearance and fortitude. I'm grateful, actually, for the opportunity to be able to spend the next week looking at how each of these varies in terms of supporting me. And the questions that I had in my journal this past week: how does fortitude sustain me? What does it look like in practice? And what are the gifts it brings me? So when I think about journal questions, it feels like I have no questions. It feels like the focus is to get up close and personal with the difference between fortitude and forbearance. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I invite you to do what you feel is right for you. I'm all about bridges these days. So I'm going to be looking at the difference between fortitude and forbearance because I want to know the subtleties and where each helps me. And I don't know what that means in terms of my soul and the energy that it brings my body and how that processes in terms of what's going on in my life or the world. For these two to show up, it feels really heavy, but I'm called to the invitation to call on these virtues of fortitude and forbearance. And the load is not ours to carry. These angels of virtue are here to help support us and guide and buoy us. So those are my thoughts on fortitude. And I haven't been painting yet. I do hope to get painting. And these two virtues feel stormy. And both these images are mountainous. And I'm still looking forward to water and drops of water. All right. As we move into Valentine's Day this week and more light in the world, it's February. Things are lightening up. I'm reminded of love and light, and love being the central focus of this podcast, really, when I think about it. The love between body, mind, and spirit, how to bridge the connection. And it reminds me that the moment is a wild thing. And I hope this week brings many moments of realizing how fortitude helps to sustain us and support us, like the holy rain washing over us and helping to nourish us. So that's me on fortitude and forbearance this week. And I hope you have a wonder-filled week. Take care. And thanks for being here.